everybody. Welcome to the Food Explorer podcast. My name is Bill Collins, and I am the Food Explorer. Today, I've got some great guests in the studio for the podcast, but before I introduce them, I want to remind you to like and share this podcast. Throw a comment on there. Tell us how handsome we are or how great you think the podcast is. Share it with all of your friends, and you'll be entered in to win a tin of Trey Olive olive oil right from East Longmeadow, Massachusetts. But without further ado, I want to introduce the guys today here in the studio. I've got Jason Titsu and also Tommy K from One Way Brewing Company, Titans of Brewing, awesome beer, and I'm psyched you guys are in the studio today. Thanks for coming.
Well, you forgot Chunkadales.
Oh, yeah, the chunk. Well, that makes three of us, right, Tommy? Yeah, I love it. Well, no, thank you guys for coming in, and happy to have One Way here and just kick it a little bit and talk about your business and tell me how's it going and how long you been in business.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We appreciate it. Well, we've been in business for over 4 years. Our tap room's been open for 3+. We just had our anniversary in January.
Yeah.
And yeah, things are going well. We're, always trying to grow and produce more beer. And
dude, the tap room for me is like an awesome little thing. I live right in Longmeadow, 3 minutes down the road from the tap room, and so for people who don't know, when you roll in, you go through these doors and it's shared with Frankie's Pizza and then you guys. And the best thing is you can go in and get like a lineup of great beers. You got the game on the TV. And if I want to order a little pizza from Frankie's, it gets delivered right over. It's like the perfect little symmetry there. So it's hats off. The place is a wild success and awesome.
Thank you. I mean, I think it's great because, it's like one of those Cheers type places. Like people will walk in the door like, hey, Bob, Jackie.
I love that.
And like people are saying, this is so much of a great atmosphere just to hang out and enjoy each other.
Dude, you gotta take the One Way logo and somehow put it into the Cheers logo and make some T-shirts for the next anniversary. That's awesome.
That would be good.
I think we're gonna come out with some cool T-shirts though.
That's it.
That's
sure.
great. So now, Jason, you're the head brewer and obviously one of the owners. And so, how many beers do you actually brew? And where did the recipes come from? How does the whole process work?
So we always have 8 beers on tap. We try to have a variety. A lot of people love those IPAs, like New England IPAs and stuff, which we
Guilty.
do also. But we try not to have just those on tap. We try to always have a variety. We do hard green teas. We do hard seltzers. We do ales. We do stouts, porters. Pretty much the whole gambit. But yeah, and recipes, they just come from me. I kind of think about a beer that I want to do, and then I think about, sometimes they're generated from like past memory, like Breakfast at the Kitchen, one of our stouts. That just reminds me of my childhood. I grew up in Wilbraham, home of Friendly ice cream, and my mom used to go and buy, a half gallon of vanilla, coffee and chocolate ice cream, and I would always grab a scoop of each, throw it in a bowl, and as it mixed together, that flavor. So when I was thinking about like a breakfast stout, that kind of reminded me of that, and I was like,
I don't even know how you do that though, and say, okay, and being like a chef that wants to create recipes, I don't even know how you think about, okay, I got chocolate and vanilla and I want to turn that into an alcoholic beverage that actually tastes like that. Like, that's so awesome that you have that ability.
Yeah, and it's kind of like food. When you go out to eat and you try something and you start feeling those flavors and you're like, wow, this flavor's awesome. How do I incorporate this into a dish that I do? Kind of same thing for me. I was like everybody. I used to go around to all the breweries and get beers and that was all research. Didn't know it at the time, but it became research for what we do now. And it was kind of just like, hey, that beer, I really like the chocolate notes of that. And then, that beer had a nice vanilla tone to it. I'm not a huge burnt, coffee or roasted barley flavor. So I try to always kind of mute that a little bit and mellow it. And that's kind of how I do. So our coffee, like on our stout, Breakfast at the Kitchen, is chocolate up front, get a little bit of that vanilla, and then the coffee just kind of comes into play as it kind of, just fades away.
You have to, you've already told me, but I think we have to share one thing with everybody that's tuning into this, which I thought was so cool. When I came over, I think it was either the anniversary or maybe it was St. Patrick's Day. You had the banana flavored beer, right? So what was it? Banana?
Yeah, it was
peanut butter?
chocolate-covered banana.
Chocolate-covered banana. Yeah. And you were telling me about the process of making that and how there was actually like a malt out there that like brought out this banana flavor, right?
Yeah, so what we have a mug club where, once a quarter we brew a beer that we've never brewed before. And it's kind of like a challenge to me, to brew something that I haven't always had.
I love that.
And I had a customer in one day, we're just talking, group of us, and somehow chocolate covered bananas came up, and how, remember when you were a kid, you had chocolate covered bananas? I haven't seen those. They're frozen, like you could get them, but I haven't seen those in
Dude, I
years.
got them in my fridge right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so it's one of those flavors. So I'm like, you know what? That's going to be our next Mug Club beer. I'm going to do a chocolate covered banana stout.
Oh, that is
and
awesome.
So I found this like yeast, and it was kind of like one of the things where, we're always trying to keep up with the latest stuff, kind of like, I'm sure you do with cooking, like what the new things are out there. And there's this yeast that's like all banana, doesn't go clove. So a lot of those
it's yeast.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
calling it, yeah.
And a lot of those yeast that bring out banana flavor also can really go clove.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's very delicate. But this one, somehow they've engineered it so it doesn't do that. And it's all banana. I was like, you know what? Let's try it. So there was no bananas in it, and it gave out a beautiful banana flavor.
Dude,
and then
it
I
hit
did all
you
the
right
chocolate.
away.
Yeah. And then I did all the chocolate through the malt. So I did chocolate malt and stuff like that. And I wanted like a dark chocolate. And I had done a porter previously that gave me those notes. And I was like, So I kind of blended it all together.
That's
kind of
awesome.
how we came up with it. And
That's awesome.
It came out really well.
And that's usually for our mug club. So that's like a dealer's choice with Jason's face on it, like
Yeah.
this. Like putting a deal out. And that's every quarter we do that as a mug club event.
And so for the Mug Club, tell me, how do I get involved in the Mug Club? If I want to get involved in the Mug Club, do I just walk in and do it? Do I do it online? How's it work?
You can sign up with us in the brewery, or you can do it online. It's $100 on an annual basis. But it's an extra pour, it's T-shirts, it's a quarterly event. So we wanted to make it fun and keep that homey atmosphere of coming into the tap room. And we shut down on like a Sunday, and we just have our Mug Club members in there, and we launch a beer from
you
it.
can't not do it for $100.
It really is a no-brainer when you really think about it. We give a beer away a quarter, so that's $32 of it right there.
Yeah,
you get a 4 ounce more of a pour every time you buy a beer.
Beer.
So yeah,
every beer.
For every beer that you get, every fourth you got a fifth. So it's like, when you really think about it, if you're somebody that comes into the brewery, it's worth it. If you're somebody that just likes to try new stuff and like, things that are you can't get unobtainium, so to speak,
Sure.
then it's worth it. So yeah, and we also have an app that is on our phones, a loyal customer app, and you can go on, you can sign up for the Mug Club there. We have points and all that kind of stuff, just kind of like Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, all the places. But ours is easy to use. That was the goal when we created our loyalty club. Was it needs to be easy to use. There's some other loyalty apps. When we were starting One Way, we were sitting in a restaurant. It's a local, so I won't say what it is.
I hope you're not talking about mine. You're like, this is such a dumb system.
No, it wasn't yours. But so we were sitting in the restaurant, and we were going through our stuff, and we got done. I went to pay the bill, and I'm like, I have the reward. So I put my phone number on the receipt and gave back, and the girl comes over. She's like, wow, you got like 3,500 points. And I'm like, yeah, it's because I don't know how to redeem them. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's such a complicated system. You got to go on the website, dump in a bunch of information, then they mail it to you. I'm like, that's crazy. Why, you might as well not even do it, because who's doing that?
Yeah.
So at that point we said, you know what, let's make one, and let's make it so it's easy. So it's real easy. You come in, you have the points. I say, hey, Bill, you have a voucher for a free pour. Would you like to use it today?
Yeah.
Or you have $4 off
A 4-pack.
a 4-pack. Would you like to use it today?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, what happens? Somebody's leaving with a 4-pack as well.
Yeah.
What a home run.
Right. So
The loyalty program you were just talking about reminds me, or your loyalty card reminds me of Tommy's loyalty card at Center Square Grill. Every time he scans out and I see the points, I'm like, dude, you can't buy the restaurant from me with loyalty points, right?
I'm
like,
trying.
start using them, man.
I'm trying.
Like, get them off my books.
these have no monetary value.
Yeah,
I
I have to start like making them go away after like a
Yeah,
time limit or
right.
something like that, But no, this is awesome. I love getting into the nitty gritty behind the businesses. But it's also fun to hear a little bit more about you guys personally too. And for those people listening that don't know, this is a special relationship and a special podcast for me because in addition to these guys being entrepreneurs and having other careers out there in the world, we're also working, the three of us, on a project together called Hawks Landing, which is a farm coming to East Long Meadow. Right? And so we're going to be bringing a beautiful agritourism farm to the table in East Long Meadow. These guys have been doing a phenomenal job with that project, and I'm proud to be working with both of you guys on that as well.
Likewise.
Yeah, I'm just really pumped. So I can't say enough good things about these guys. But tell me a little bit. I'm sure people want to know more about you. Like, Tom, I'll start with you. When you go out to dine, obviously we're talking about loyalty points. We know you come to CSG a lot, but forget about that. Talk to me about some of your top dining destinations and some of the things you love to do when you're not at the brewery, on the tractor at the farm, servicing accounts through your brokerage, being a landlord. What are you doing?
I love Taos down in Manhattan. I love Taos.
It's awesome.
I love the whole atmosphere, like the Buddha, the whole 9 yards. Even the one in Mohegan Sun's kind of cool with the
I haven't
lady,
been there yet. I want to go.
She's got like 10 hands. She's like, "Rah!"
Yeah.
But I love the vibe. I love techno music. I love like BPM, like,
I love it.
and it's all pumping in off of like 80s music in the background. So
That's
it's kind of
cool.
like a nice blend.
Yeah, so it's and that really, like, whenever I talk to people about the restaurant business, like, it certainly is good food and good service. That's a must. But you got to have that vibe. You have to have the atmosphere. You have to,
Energy.
the music's got to work. If you can sit back as an owner, and even as you know in your place, and you see everybody having a great time and cheersing and laughing and having fun, and you're like, man, I created this vibe that people are really digging. Like, that's the home run moment.
That's why I love
That is-
playing DJ on touch tunes at the brewery.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
All of a sudden, everybody's like, yeah. And you're like, I did that.
Or we'll play, who's like, crazy song, who's the artist, all that stuff. Do you remember this?
I love that.
kind of
Yeah, and you guys have music there sometimes too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Every
Certain
Friday and
nights?
Saturday, we do live music, and
Awesome.
6 to 9. And then on Wednesdays, the second Wednesday of the month, we do trivia, and the third Wednesday we do bingo. So we try to,
I might come
break
for
some stuff in.
bingo and music, but trivia for me, I don't know. I didn't do
We
so
keep
well.
it general. It's like,
All right, good.
Are you smarter than a fifth grader? You know what I mean? Kind of thing.
I don't know, dude. I'm helping my kids with homework lately, and I'm not quite sure that I always am. I'm like, wait,
I don't
they're
understand the
teaching
new
you
math.
this in third grade?
I don't understand the new math. What was wrong with the old math?
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
we were talking about that, right? It's like,
why do I need to draw 100 squares to know it's 100?
I
You what
know.
mean? It's like, I don't understand it.
I know.
It doesn't make any
And
sense.
what's funny is, for me, that stuff was starting in preschool with my kids. I'm like, I don't think I did anything worth any time in school until it was like fourth grade. Forget about preschool for, kindergarten.
I was just
first.
trying to stay in the lines.
I know. So you brought a couple of beers today. I was thinking maybe we could pop one open, do a little taste, if you guys don't mind. What would you recommend we pop open?
Well, I think, it's like asking what's your favorite kid you want to like hang out with. You know what I mean?
I
think
get
that
it.
they're
I
all
get it.
good.
Billy's an IPA guy.
Yeah, you're an IPA guy. So let's do Clem Dellops.
Yes.
So just kind of give you a little history as you're popping that open. If you look at it, we call it Secret Agent Clem Dellops. And if you look at it, what does it say backwards? If you read it, what does it say?
All right. Spilled milk.
Yeah. So Spilled Milk is our milkshake series.
Okay.
So if you ever had any of our milkshake series, it'll be Spilled Milk Mango, Spilled Milk Mulberry. And I have a lot of customers that come in and say, what's the base beer taste like? Before you guys do all the stuff, what does it taste like? And I said, well, maybe I'll brew it one day. And so I decided to brew it, and this is before you put in the lactose, before you put in the vanilla, before you put in the fruit. This is just the straight IPA. So this IPA, because you're going to layer those flavors on top of it, doesn't have that bitter bite on the back end.
Oh, my God.
The hops we use in this gives you a berry, strawberry.
Yeah.
So if you should, so it's a very light, fruity flavor that you can stack on, right? And that's the whole plan, right? So you want something that'll kind of give it a base that's good, but you can add flavors to it, and it's not going to compete. Strawberry is beautiful like that because it is such a light flavor that you can add flavors without it competing with it.
Yeah, this is like a perfect, like, early summer IPA. This is like
Yeah.
right now.
Right now, yep.
Super crushable, and I love the layer thing you're talking about. And I got to be honest with you, it's like I need, like, when we have more time, I need like a master class here, like talking about layers. I think of brewing and I'm like, okay, so you put everything into the pot and you mix it up, right? And like all of a sudden, yeah, we let some CO2 out and we've got beer, right? You know, and so I would love to come down to the brewery and do some free labor and brew a batch with you, man, just to see how it's done.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And you know what else would be fun? I think it would be fun to sit down and like build a recipe. You know? So we'll talk about what your favorite beer is, you know, what kind of hops we would use, what kind of like additions, because you know it's kind of like cooking in the sense of that you add, you know, everything at different times to create different things, you know. So you add hops in the beginning in the boil to create some bitterness, that, you know, which is called the bittering addition, and then as you go through, you add some for aroma and then you add some for flavor, and then you can dry hop to, you know, add depth, you know. So and it's all about just like layering those flavors, and that's what creates the complexity of the beer. It's not
and it's complex, man. This is awesome. So I have to ask you, at the brewery, any big events coming down the pipeline that we should know about, maybe promote if people are tuning in? Do we have anything coming up that we want to talk about? I know patio just opened and looks awesome.
Patio.
Yeah, the patio's open. We always have, so we have a calendar on our website, which shows all the music that's playing there.
And what is the website?
It's www.the1waybrewing.com.
Got it.
And if you go on that, you can click to our events. It'll go onto our webpage that has a calendar. You see who's playing what. We also are doing a pretty cool thing. We always want to do something for Mother's Day. You know, Mother's Day is kind of a weird thing for breweries because, you know, like what do you do for mothers? Not that mothers don't drink beer, but it's just one of those things where it's like not something you associate. It's always brunch or something like that. Well, we don't have a kitchen, so we couldn't do that. So what I did was we're going to do a tea party, and it's
I just saw this. Yeah, it's awesome.
Of 4 hard teas.
Yeah.
And a bakery box.
Yeah.
And so it's a pre-ticketed event. You can go on the website, purchase tickets, and then,
My wife probably would have liked if you just Ubered me there and back and got me out of her hair for the day.
Yeah.
You know? Let her go to the spa, you know?
That's awesome, yeah.
No, that's awesome. Listen, it has been awesome having you guys in here. We're going to definitely flash the website up there so that people can see it. I hope that in the future I see you guys on maybe an episode of the Food Explorer, which would be awesome. And so please, everybody tuning in, make sure you search out One Way Brewing Company, join that loyalty club and join the mug club. I can't believe I'm your business partner on something I still haven't joined yet. I feel embarrassed to even say it. So I promise you I'm going to come in and do that soon.
Thank you.
Awesome. And
thank you.
Please make sure you tune in and check out One Way. Make sure you like this, share it with your friends, win that beautiful Trey olive oil right out of East Long Meadow. Thank you to all the viewers who have tuned in. We appreciate you checking out the Food Explorer podcast. Look forward to the Food Explorer show coming this fall right on your local station. So enjoy.